It seems like every time you turn around in the AI world, there's like another crazy development. Remember when OpenAI's models were basically these total black boxes? Well, things just got a lot more interesting with this update to o3-mini. Basically, OpenAI's been facing some pressure from competitors like DeepSeek, and their R1 model made a big splash because it was completely transparent with how it thinks. It's called chain of thought, or COT for short. Basically, it's how these AI models break down like really hard problems step by step, almost like how a human would think through it. So OpenAI decided to do something pretty wild. They're going to make their o3-mini models COT more see-through. They didn't like reveal all the details, but it's still a huge step. It's like if you're trying to understand a complex math equation and all you see is like the final answer. It's so annoying. That's what it was like before with o3-mini, but now with this new transparency, we can basically peek behind the scenes. We can see like how o3-mini is actually reasoning. And it's not just about satisfying our curiosity or anything like that. It's really important for developers and researchers. I mean, think about it. If o3-mini makes a mistake or spits out some weird result, you can actually go back and look at how it got there. You can see where it maybe went off the rails, and then you can try to fix it. It's like having a debugger, but for an AI. But there's another side to this whole transparency thing. It's not just about practicality. It's about trust. If we're going to rely on these AIs to do things like financial analysis or even like medical diagnoses, we have to be confident in their decisions. And how do you get confidence? By understanding how those decisions are actually made. I was reading out a study. Researchers were testing o3-mini and DeepSeek-R1, giving them some really tough problem-solving tasks. The interesting thing is, o3-mini actually did better at getting the right answer than R1. But when o3-mini did mess up, it was almost impossible to tell why. It's like, okay, you got it wrong, but how did you even get there? But with R1, because it was transparent, they could follow the chain of thought, they could pinpoint the exact issue, and they could often fix it. I think it shows that transparency isn't just about making life easier for developers. It's about making sure AI is accountable and reliable. Now, OpenAI is moving in the right direction, but they're not quite ready to fully embrace open source yet. They're still kind of holding their cards close. It makes you wonder, will they ever go all in on open source? There's some good reasons too. OpenAI isn't just going to let DeepSeek run away with everything. Remember how everyone loved R1 because it was affordable? Well, OpenAI has been quietly making o3-minis even more affordable. It's like they're saying, we may not be totally open yet, but we're getting there. And in the meantime, we're going to make sure our models are accessible. It's a good strategy. And it's kind of started this arms race in AI. Both companies are pushing each other to get better. And who wins? We do. This whole push for transparency is much bigger than just OpenAI and DeepSeek. It's about changing how we think about AI. We're moving away from this black box idea of AI and moving towards a future where AI is more understandable, more accountable, and ultimately more trustworthy. Think about it. If some AI is making choices that affect your life, anything from loan approvals to medical stuff, shouldn't you know how it's making those choices? Transparency creates trust. And that trust is super important if we want AI to really work well in our society. Now, I know some people think that full open source could be dangerous, that it could lead to people using AI in bad ways. And yeah, those are real concerns. But even if we don't go full open source, this move towards more transparency by OpenAI is a huge deal. It sets a new standard for the industry. It shows that explaining AI and holding it accountable are really important. And maybe this is just a start. Maybe in the future, all AI models will come with a breakdown of how they reason, like a built-in explainer. That wouldn't just help us understand their decisions, it could help us learn from them, make them better, and maybe even collaborate with AI in new ways. Imagine a world where AI isn't just a tool, but like a partner, working with us to solve really hard problems. That's a future I think we should be working towards.